This conference will now be recorded.
5/17/22.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion first off on the minutes? Any changes needed? Okay, we'll go ahead and go into the department and advisory board reports.
17/22.
And we'll start off with Chief with police and animal control.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, good evening. So April news, obviously, as all you all know, Chief Darrell Sanchez retired on April 1st. After roughly about 30 years of law enforcement, he decided to hang up his hat. So best of luck to him and his future endeavors. Also, the Edgewood Police Department hosted its annual Easter egg hunt on April 16th. Estimated 1,000 people came out and enjoyed the festivities along with us. It was a great event. The last and primary suspect of the Walmart arson was arrested by Edgewood Police in April. Officer Campos and Officer Easterling both attended the evidence management training to help us to better process the evidence room and how things come in and go out of there. And thanks to the Commissioner's approval, we were able to purchase a brand new F-150 that is now ready for upfitting. So thank you all for that. And I will stand for any questions for the police department type.
The expedition?
The Expedition has also been purchased, but it wasn't purchased in April.
That's right, it crossed over the month, didn't it? That line. Okay. Any questions?
Who's gonna be the lucky officer to get the new truck?
The new truck is going to Officer Campos. He's been in a floater for some time because of his deployment. So he was in a decent truck, then he got deployed, and when he came back, he was put in a floater. So he definitely be a reward to him. Yeah.
The new uniform looks sharp.
Thank you.
Just make sure you tell Officer Campos, no coffee stains in the new truck until at least a year old.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, animal control.
In animal control, during the month of April, animal control was able to enroll in the, I'm gonna say this wrong, I know I'm gonna say it wrong, it's the Kuranda Shelter Beds, program. This program was allowed them to create a wish list of how many beds that they could, choose for the shelter. They created a wish list for 20 beds, and, currently they've already received up to 9 beds that have been donated to them. Now, these beds are great for the shelter because they're really easy to clean up, the dogs love them, and like I said, they're really easy as far as sanitation and everything purposes, and also they're very durable. So kudos out to those guys for reaching out to the program and already getting 9 beds donated. The animal control shelter also started volunteers again in the month of April. The month of April, we were able to log over 80 hours of volunteer time, and it has done nothing but increase since then. So we are extremely appreciative of all the volunteers and their time and dedication to the shelter and the community. So, guys, come out and volunteer, and the animals will love for you to take them for a walk, and while you're there, go ahead and adopt one.
So we have the board represented, this evening. Come on up.
Good evening. We had a good meeting with Chief Lovato. We discussed many different items. One was refitting the emergency trailer since we've had these terrible fires going on. We'd like to refit it, fit it with new tires, get a spare tire for it. There's currently about 30 crates inside of it, which are all on the electronic inventory. But what we need to do is go through and clean it, and we're looking into the possibility of making some disposable plates or bowls or things like that, because when we do have an emergency, we don't have personnel to sit there and clean up stainless steel bowls, plastic bowls, and that. And then we also discussed getting some verbiage some printing on the side of it to identify it as the Edgewood Emergency, trailer. And, that way we prepare it for if we did have an emergency or if we were needed to go to another area to assist as well. We also discussed some items on the, town ordinance, which is gonna take a long time to go through. But one of the items we were discussing is Roxy's Law, which is banning, spring traps and leg hole traps on public land. And we'd like to add that to the ordinance, to put that out there as a reminder that those types of traps are not allowed. And that's about all I have to report right now.
Okay. Any questions for the advisory board or the chief?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Naya?
Chief, what's the story on the cat cages again? Current.
As far as the order placement, the size, the material,
Are they
be a
here?
little bit more specific for me.
Are they here?
No, and I hope that they don't get here this budget year. I'm hoping that they actually roll over to fiscal year 2023, I'm sorry. And that's what we're looking at as far as shipping as well, from what I understand, Stephanie. Yeah, so the order has been placed, but we're looking till, the new fiscal year before they come in, as far as shipping and everything and completion of construction.
Yeah, but we ordered those during this last budgetary
That's correct.
fiscal year.
That's correct.
And, they're paid for, correct, out of the budget?
There's a PO cut for them, but whoever ordered those prior to me, actually put us in the red in that line item. That's why I'm saying I hope they carry over and we don't receive them until next fiscal year, because right now we'd actually be in the red about $4,000.
Okay, ladies.
But they're not scheduled to come in till next fiscal year, so that would be a line item adjustment.
So the PO that we have currently is in the red?
We would have to roll it over to get it back into the.
No,
I don't think.
can't do that.
Commissioners, if I may, and Mayor, what happened was the PO was, there is a PO out there, but it wasn't enough for what the order turned out to be. So I have been working with the company. I sent that PO, it went to the president, it sat somewhere, it was lost for about a month. I was able to find the correct contact out there. I sent them, the PO again with the correct documents, but they said in building it would be mid-July. So, and they sent the schematics for it, the plans, they were reviewed by the chief, by the animal control officers, and then they were signed off and sent back. They need to be signed off, they were sent back, and they said about mid-July they would be ready.
Okay, so we need to do a bar adjustment then or something.
Well, they're not ready till mid-July, so we'll have that dollar amount in the new budget.
But we issued a PO currently, and that PO must be in the red, in the green.
Well, what's gonna happen with that PO is, my understanding from, Amelia, that we will honor that, hold that PO is gonna hold our order in place. Come July 1st, we will cancel the PO that's in place, issue a new one, but connect the two together. I mean, we'll keep the documentation.
So what's that gonna do to the audit?
So just to clarify for everyone, we did approve, from the commission standpoint, legally approve the budget for this purchase. So this should not be an audit issue. Whenever the goods or services arrive, which hopefully it's sooner, maybe it's not, then we would make sure that if it's not before June 30, that is proper protocol to go ahead and cancel that PO and issue a new one. So you kind of keep that budget there, kind of held with the purchase order, even if the goods or services aren't going to be received because you're just really not sure. And then at June 30, like Stephanie said, like the clerk said, that we then issue a new purchase order and the other one gets canceled because it wasn't used because they weren't received. But as far as, having budget, yes, we did have budget for that. So we are legally in compliance with budget requirements as far as that goes.
Okay, I just don't wanna see any of them in the red.
Yeah, I know that didn't sound right to me either.
Yeah.
Because I know that we did approve it here at the governing body, so, you might wanna just double check if there's anything else that needs to be done, but it should be in the minutes that we approved it here.
Yes, the purchase order is detailed. If it comes in before June 30th, then we would come back to you with a budget resolution to increase, just to make sure we get that paid. But there's no issue as far as what we have in the budget, what's there, but as the chief says, it's not enough, because there was a change in the type of changes.
Okay, well, I didn't know anything about that. The reason I was bringing it up is because, I was wanting to know about the cat cages, because it's been an issue for some time now. And of them being here, whether we're gonna go pick them up, or we're gonna ship them out to us. And as I was going back through my notes, I was just gonna say, ship the damn things here so we can get it over with. But now, we have something different to talk about.
This has been a very interesting situation. And even I know Mike is frustrated too with the advisory board's probably very frustrated. We did send the information in March, and that's what Stephanie was saying, that go ahead, Manager Davis.
Yes, it's a little strange, but I went to visit a family in Texas, in the same town, who lives across the street from the plant. And the reason, the president has not seen anything is he, apparently does not come to work every day. And, my understanding from talking to what's happening with the plant, because I was curious about the, delay, is that, the management, used to be, belonged to the father who had deceased, and the son took over, and, he has, little, how should I say, has not paid attention to business. And it took the secretary to take care of find the purchase order and, start the process. That's why it was over a month before
And
they
then
were
we
able
sent
to.
it again in April,
Yes.
and then that person was gone for a while, that was in charge of getting the schematics and getting everything going. So it's been, we've had to have some persistence.
And they had changeover in their, employees too.
I think we're on board now.
Yeah. Commissioner Naya, feel better? We need to move forward.
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay. All right, so next, municipal court. Any questions on the report? Okay, hearing none, the roads department, we have a report on roads. Any questions, comments on that one? Okay, library, anything for library? Andrea's here if we need anything. Parks and Rec, Ben, why don't you come up?
I don't have a formal report for April because I started May 1st, but I will just talk about what we've been working on. Parks and Recreation has had kind of three main things on our stove getting hot right now. Number one, Echo Ridge Park. We have been working a lot on getting the property ready for the fence contractor to come in and do the fence on the property so that we can properly and efficiently spend the grant money that we have that's available right now. There was Eagle Project that was completed out there, which did a ton of cleanup work with some help from the roads department. They came out and helped us with that, and placing boulders around the property to block illegal and unwanted access. A lot of tree trimming and clearing for the fence lines so that they can get their work done out there. A lot of that work was done by David and Mike on the committee, so thanks to them for all their hard work on that. The other thing going on is the guest program, which we haven't had to do much on it. There's been others taking the reins on that, but that is moving along. And the third thing I will let KR speak about is the Memorial Day event that is going to be coming up in 13 days. I've been working a ton on that, especially KR and Ralph. So I will let them speak on that one.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Ben?
Yeah, any questions for me before I sit down? Okay.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Naya?
Ben, you said that Dave and Mike are the ones that are cutting trees.
No. We're not cutting trees, we're clearing the fence lines. So the fence all around the property, even where there was a fence, is in bad repair. So the junipers have grown over it. We've had to do a ton of trimming, along there. They took the lead on that, and then I kind of took over when I got on board.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
Yes,
They are trimming trees?
trimming.
Okay,
We are not cutting any trees down, yes, sorry.
trimming trees.
I believe I said trimming.
You did, I did.
Okay, yes, we're
I
trimming
said cutting down trees.
No, we're
I
trimming.
apologize. Trimming.
Yes.
Now, is Mike and Dave doing the trimming the trees?
They had done some work on that, yes.
Do you know if they're carrying fire extinguishers with them? Because I hear
They are
chainsaws all day.
no, they are trimming the trees with loppers.
I hear a chainsaw up there.
When I went out there, I had an electric chainsaw, and Manny actually helped me, one day as well with the electric chainsaw.
Then somebody's cutting wood up there.
I ran into someone on Monday when I was out there, meeting the fence contractor to lay out the fence. There was a guy cutting wood on the property. I approached him, he said he had a permit from BLM to cut dead trees. He was cutting the dead trees and hauling them off.
Is he driving a gray truck?
He had a lifted gray, I don't know what kind of truck with a trailer. Yeah, I actually got his name down.
Okay. You want to take that discussion offline?
So,
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
BLM land right now, and he said he had a permit. I can't really do anything. Anyway, I did approach him, and he said he was cutting, and I was watching him cutting a dead tree.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's that. Anything else?
Maybe I better not ask any more questions.
Anybody besides Bill have any questions?
Mr. Scott?
I will be blessedly brief. If it's okay with you all, I'll wait till you do your Purple Heart proclamation, and I'll give you more details at that time, so we don't do it twice. I'd like to thank the commission and the town leadership for the selection of Ben as our Park and Recs manager. He is an exceptional candidate. He will do great things for us, and the entire committee is jumping for joy. That, of course, caused us to lose one member of our committee, and also lose our chair. The committee has elected a new chair. I'd like to introduce him. He's right here.
Welcome.
We will have some names recommended to the mayor for the next commission meeting on possible replacements. We're working on a couple of candidates to consider for recommendation now. And I will stand for comments, or I'll wait till you get to the proclamation. No one has questions?
Anything else? Okay, you can come back up with the proclamation. Thank you, KR. Maintenance, Manny.
Hey, everybody. Okay, over the past April and May, we've been, waiting on 344 and Old 66. We installed, 2 flagpoles, also relocated a message board from town office and a LED light on the south side of the town building. And we've been watering Venus Park every day, our sprinkler system, daily pickup, litter pickup, also Bassett Park. Our crews have been getting supplies needed for Echo Ridge project. We've been assisting the office as needed, minor maintenance issues that come up. And we're planning to stripe all parking lots for the town. We got the office here, we got the dog office over there, and then we got the road department, and we got the courthouse. We got a stripe. And we're just waiting on approval for the John Deere tractor and mower. So we can start mowing.
Okay, any questions or comments? Good work. It's great to see the crews out. We get a lot of comments on it. And then just on the striping, Kay, if you wouldn't mind letting the superintendent know, about what we're going to be doing, just so that they're aware. I'm sure they won't mind. Okay, thank you. Wastewater. And were we able to reach Larry Hall to present? Okay. Why don't we go ahead and move that to our next meeting and make sure that he's available. Technology. Jesus, come on up.
Mayor, if I may, he's from out of state, would it be okay for him to just do virtual?
So the CAM server is back up and running, operational, so the cameras are recording now. For the MSP, the IT contractor, the kickoff day was a little bit less than a month ago. They're gonna assist me. They're provided new standard IT tools, remoting software, a documentation center, and a ticketing system. There will be monthly reviews and recommended best practices for our network. So we also implemented a data solution, has been operation, backing, and securing data. So we have a backup already installed in place, which completes phase one. The phase two will be implementing it later to have it backed up in the cloud. We also have antivirus implemented in our end nodes, so meaning that we are protected against malware and virus attacks that could encrypt our data. For the iCompass, we are starting to have an internal workshop to see the exact needs for the meeting management software. I was wondering if any of you guys want to attend.
So is that the one that we did the,
Yes, so WordDocs is for schools and iCompass is for government.
municipalities probably?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, say that
Yes,
again?
absolutely. I would like to attend,
Say that again, what was
for our meetings, iCompass.
icon?
Basically board docs, that demo that we went through. Yeah.
So,
But was that the one meeting where it was scheduled and then
yeah,
it wasn't
so,
available?
I was trying to have something internal to discussion first, because I don't really know how to set up all the agendas and answer all those questions, so I was wondering if we can we can make it faster if we do all the emails, through emails, if you wanna have the conversation through emails, but, if you want to do it in person, do it in person.
Okay. Yeah, in person is fine. And then you're asking the commissioners if they wanna attend?
Attend, if they wanna have the input.
Okay. What, is it with the company?
Yes, well, no, internally first, then later we can do it with the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, how about if Kay and I start, and then we'll see what questions Kay might want to ask. Is that okay? Just so we don't have the rolling quorum with emails or anything like that.
Okay.
And we don't really, I mean, we will need to have a special meeting here soon for budget and a number of other things. So if we need to put that on the agenda, we can, just so we can discuss, you know, in the open.
Okay.
What are you
I
thinking?
thought we had already kind of decided to move on
We did.
something like this.
We did, but now it's down to like, how do we want
The
the
design of it.
website, the design, yeah.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying, like, Kay and I meet with Jesus and, you know, and then if we have questions for you guys, we can bring it up.
That works.
Okay.
Okay. And the last thing is I got a revised, quote for the audio system. I got the quote down to 14,000, so it's gonna be $2,000 less. I made the cameras, a little bit cheaper. We don't need 20x view cameras. So 4 cameras would be better. Sufficient.
Okay, I would just say my feedback is on these two items, if everything's been approved, I think there was something on the sound that we were waiting on, right? Anyway, so I don't know about that, but as far as iCompass, it's long overdue, so let's get her done, right? Get it done. Anything else on technology? Thank you, Jesus. Planning and zoning, Brad.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. So I did, there's a typo on the issued licenses. That should be from 412 to 511.
511?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we issued 19 licenses. Going forward, Mayor and Commissioners, I would like to break those down as to which are new, which are reissued. And I may provide you with a list of the new businesses each month. That way you have a sense of what's coming in an opening businesses. Most of the businesses that do come in are home businesses, but we are seeing other types coming in as well. But I'll give you better information and tag that by month. So.
A great idea.
And then I do want to indicate, we did process 11 development reviews. Most of those, I would say of the 11, 4 of those were new residences and the remainder were accessory buildings. I will indicate that from May 1st of last year to May 1st of this year, we issued 34 residential permits. So there were 34 new residences. They came into Edgewood in that 12-month period. So.
That's good to know. I was just going to mention on that note that at the school board meeting on their budget Friday, afterwards I was able to find out that their increase in enrollment was, I believe, 97 kiddos. So the area is definitely growing.
Yeah, and I would say just anecdotally, and I can't ask people their demographics obviously, but just observationally, most of the I would say about half of the new residences are younger families, younger couples with children. So I think that's good to kind of have a sense of that.
That's great.
We did seat our new commissioner, so we do have a full 5-member planning and zoning commission. We did receive interest from another town resident who would like to serve on planning and zoning. We do have the alternate position still open, so we will be bringing forward that information to you for the next council meeting, commission meeting. You will see the code enforcement compliance officer job description later in today's agenda. We did revise that and ask for to look at that. I did attend the New Mexico League of Zoning Officials annual conference in Las Cruces, and when you go to those events, you learn what you don't know. But I was very pleased of the quality of presentations at that meeting, and I do look to bring forward communications from the city of Gallup and the town of Truth or Consequences regarding ordinance changes. Excuse me. And we did meet with the fire marshal, the county fire marshal, and the assistant state fire marshal. We had a discussion regarding going forward with the adoption of the new fire code, and they indicated to us what our options could be on that. Of course, that is our decision to make, and we will be bringing that forward to you in the near future as well. I'll stand for any questions if you have any this time.
Questions on PNC?
Oh, I like the idea that you came up with to address who's renewing their license and who's coming in new. And I've noticed a couple of signs out also that says coming soon. There are some businesses that are already putting up signs, so everything's looking very positive outside there. So thank you guys for all the
work you're doing. We are regularly scheduling pre-development reviews for these major commercial businesses coming in. We had one today. I have one scheduled for next week, and so we're hearing, the communication is continuing.
Good job.
Next, go ahead, Commissioner Brennan.
Now, I was just looking at the second page here regarding the fireworks.
Yes.
And are we gonna be posting notices throughout the town on this?
That's really up to you, up to the commission. I did want, that was brought to our attention in that meeting that we had with with Santa Fe County. And so I think we need to get as much of this out in the public as we can. So with your consensus, we would be happy to try to get this on the website and get information out.
Definitely on the website, along with the other fire information that's been passed along to us. And then perhaps closer to the time of the 4th, we could get it on the electronic sign as well.
Madam Mayor, I would also suggest that, we get some signage made up to put out by Smith's, Walmart, other places where a lot of people are going to be trafficking. Because we gotta get this message out, if we don't, we're gonna have some problems.
I'm fine with that.
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Naya?
Brad, do you know if we still have any signs in the office that say no burn? The big they're 4x4 and they were yellow.
I'll check and see. I don't think we do, but I am ordering new posting signs. So I'll be putting in a sign order, so it's something I'll discuss with the manager. And if I have enough in my budget, we can maybe get some signs made that we can put out.
Thanks.
Great. Okay, matters from the mayor. Next on our agenda, just wanted to let the commissioners know and the public that we have been conducting preliminary interviews of candidates for the appointed positions as far as town manager and clerk. And you have some great candidates already. So that's very encouraging. And next, just wanted to let you all know about our request to meet with Moriarty Edgewood School District regarding the use of the old elementary school, Edgewood Elementary School South building, has been denied numerous times. And so the last one, in writing, they stated because they were worried about potential litigation that we wouldn't be able to meet. Then I let them know that the commission did vote to not pursue litigation at this time in hopes of having a collaborative relationship on the usage of the building, really until such time as there's, funded plans to do something else. And saw the superintendent, Commissioner Brennan, and I attended the budget meeting on Friday. Yep. And was able to talk to Superintendent Board President, and the answer again was a hard no, that they have already done their vote, and that they intend to go ahead and shut down utilities, block things off. Eviction notices have been sent out, I think, as of June 3rd. And today, had a kind of an emergency, randomly found out that Plateau, the internet was going to be shut off with no notice to us. So we're checking on that. But just to let you know, that disaster was averted thanks to Jesus. And so we're reaching out to the superintendent on that note as well. Manager Davis.
I did receive a text from her, and that she will call me in the morning.
Okay.
To discuss the Plateau situation.
Fantastic. Okay. So I know the next step on their end is to apply for the money from the state to tear down the building. And, I think I've made it perfectly clear that I don't believe that they meet the statutory, requirements. So that's where that stands, and so it's up to the commission, if we need to have this on an agenda again, or, you know, next steps, what to do from here. So maybe something to think about, and, let, Kay and Stephanie know if you would like to see anything on a future agenda. Please just email them for that. Matters from the commissioners. We do not have Mayor Pro Tem Powers here this evening. Like I
Madam
said.
Chair, we didn't vote on the consent agenda.
Oh,
Didn't approve it.
thank you
Yes,
for that. I do have, okay, so let's take that step backwards to the consent agenda. I do have, a motion that we'll take care of first while we're in discussion on that. The wastewater report, I move to, disapprove that report until we have the proper presentation, from our operator.
I'll second.
I think it's been moved and seconded on that. Any, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, now we'll go ahead and vote on the consent agenda if there's no other discussion or changes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
on the minutes from April 30th, 2020 on page 8, there was a motion made, and I don't see where it was seconded.
Which, let's see here. That is correct. Page 8 of 11 on, which set was it?
That was the 30th.
The 30th? Okay. So if we can go ahead and, approve with that change, with that addition, we'll have the clerk go ahead and add that in. Okay. You guys okay with that friendly amendment? Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda with the change in adding the second to that motion on page 8 of 11 for April 30th. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Back to matters from the commissioners. We have, Commissioner Brennan.
All right, first, I'd like to start off with, I'd like to, with the blessing of the commission, is to reach out to our neighbors to the north in Moore County to see what we as Edgewood can do for them as far as their evacuation efforts, and also, the livestock that's up there. They're trying to find different locations. We can start reaching out to the public to see if there's anybody that can provide any type of assistance for them. And as far as any type of possible housing or whatever we can do within our power to assist them. I know they're up in a bad way. I've been looking at the maps for the fire places that my family and I we would go up there for vacation. It's no longer there. And they're the nicest people I've ever met that living up there, and we just like to find some way for us to be able to help them out.
I did, reach out to the Municipal League on this and offered assistance, or just, the questions of what could we do. And, AJ Forte, the executive director, did say that in the north it's looking a little bit better with the snow melt, and that it's, wet, he said. But they're more worried about Angel Fire right now. But, I'm sure that changes from day to day.
Yeah, 300,000 acres.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mind awakening when you can step out your back porch and you look to the north and you can actually see the glow where there's people living.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And the plumes of smoke. I came from Trauma through Santa Fe Sunday, and it was just a lot of smoke.
I look at that every day because my living room window faces that direction, and it's just a constant reminder. And along with that, if we're not careful here, we're gonna end up and be in the same position. I think it was Friday or Saturday, there was a gentleman who was burning weeds and the fire got away from him and it went right down the road, and that was on, I can't remember which road it was. It's down by, no. It's, you know what Linda Wheeler lives? Oh, I can't remember the name of the road. Sorry, a senior moment there. That's it, High Meadows. And I saw a picture of it, a swath of burnt grass. Luckily, they got it put out, but it went through a couple of properties. Had that gotten away and moved along, we have a lot of dry trees here in our pinyons and our junipers. Edgewood could go up in flames just like that. People have got to pay attention to what they're doing. We need to be smarter, all right? Burning weeds right now, bad idea, all right? Down the lawn, bag them up, take them over to the transfer station, let them go ahead and compost them. All right, I know it's extra work, but it's better than burning our town down. And it's bad enough when the federal government set the fire, but let's not burn our own home down. All right, so I just want to remind the people that we've got to be extra careful. And we got a notice from the Forest Service News. Santa Fe is implementing a forest-wide closure order starting May 19th. Santa Fe, they're going to be closing down the national forest around Santa Fe. That's just to go ahead and drive the point even further. I'm actually surprised that this notice didn't come out sooner.
And it got changed to statewide.
Oh, got updated already?
Yep.
I missed that one.
It's a statewide, national forest, closure outside of one or two down further south portion of the state.
Our rains aren't here yet, and we can't take those kind of chances. So I'm begging everybody, be smart. Don't be burning the weeds, don't be burning trash.
One of the things that we've been working diligently on, Manager Davis and I, and with a community member that has been volunteering that has experience in this, is the EOC. And just being prepared for any emergency such as this that could, impact us. And we have, just to be really, really careful. Thank you for that reminder. Okay, Commissioner Donner.
Oh, wait.
Oh, Brennan.
Let me finish one last thing. I did get a phone call from Senator Heinrich's office. Mm-hmm. And the request for the money that I put in for the flood control over at church, they're pushing that forward. The caveat with it, the request was for $6 million. The town has to come up with 25% of that. But it comes out to $1.5 million. It's still a lot less than $6 million to try to get that flood control underway, and we can start working on where else we can go ahead and put that money together. I know we don't have to have it all up at once. We got to have, every time we spend the money, we got to be able. 25% of that expenditure has to come from us, but it is positive news. So it's going in the right direction. It's just keeping the fingers crossed and the prayers going, and hopefully we'll get there on that one.
At what point is it at, do you know? Do they need our permission? Like, let's say, because this would be something that we would have to put on an agenda and have the commissioners approve and hear from the public, of course. Is that something that we should do at one of our next meetings? Because
yeah, we're going to do that.
If we were going to say no, I mean, it's not right to let them go through their whole process, because they could appropriate that money somewhere else. So I think that let's get that on one of our next agendas, probably with the budget special meeting. And again, there's no guarantee that we would receive it, but what you're saying is, if
it's moving forward.
It's moving forward.
So,
if we want it to continue moving forward, then we probably need to vote on that and get feedback from the public. Okay, thank you. Thanks for all your work on that. It's great. Commissioner Donner?
So I have been working on getting broadband, to the town, more widespread. Been working through a couple of the state, programs. It's a lot of hoops to jump through. And the matching that we would have to do is quite, high for those programs. At least that's what I was told this morning. But the good news is I've been working with USDA. We have been, I guess, pre-approved would be the correct terminology for 15 million, and we'd only have to have 15% down to do that. And the nice thing with doing it is that's the feds. They will actually distribute the money to the companies that are interested. They bid, the companies bid, and it keeps us from having that anti-donation issues that we would maybe be accused of having. So some good news there. It's going to take, the process takes about 6 months. There's no deadline, so I will be working closely with Kay and the staff on the next steps on that. So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for all your work. Concrete information, which is great, and I think this is one more thing we should add to the agenda. See if that's something that the public wants to do. It would create a pretty hefty investment by the town for both of these things, and with so many other priorities, I guess we're just gonna have to, you know, kind of look at that and see. It's a lot of money that could be available to us from the federal level, but we'll have to have a match. And I'm kind of curious too, is it in kind? Would we be able to have in kind match, or is it?
But we would be able to spread it out. It wouldn't have to be all too upfront. I think it was either two. We had a choice, and there was some. We would have to pay more if we didn't do it in a certain amount of time.
Okay.
But yeah, I believe there was a couple different options, 2, 6, and 10 years.
Okay. All right, we'll look at those details with budget. Commissioner Anaya.
Well, I didn't get any money.
Oh, man.
I spent a lot of money the last few days, but I didn't get any. The only thing that I have, well, first of all, I don't know if my wife is watching on Facebook, but if she is, I just want to tell her happy 39th birthday today.
39th.
39th, yes. Anyhow,
Happy birthday.
yeah, I didn't really want to say how old.
Smart.
I don't think she would appreciate that.
The other day I was driving down, coming in on 66, and I noticed that I was looking for the sign that says, "Welcome to Edgewood,"
Yeah.
and I couldn't find any. And I thought, well, maybe we moved the boundaries, so I went and looked again. No, didn't move the boundaries. Boundaries are still there. So, do you think that it's possible we could get the road department to put signs up on the north, east, south, and west entrance of Edgewood saying, "Welcome to Edgewood"?
Yes, and now that the census is in, we have the population.
Are you including Sandoval County and Bernalillo counties?
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And also, along with the welcome sign, I'd kind of like to see our logo on it too. You know, the state of New Mexico with the windmill and the Zia symbol. I don't know if that would be something you guys would want to do to give them a target practice, but I kind of think that would be nice to just say welcome, and then the town of Edgewood on the bottom, just like the emblem says. Just something to think about, but I know our boundaries are expanding, and we'd kind of like to show people when they're coming into Edgewood. So that's all I got. So I did spend a little money.
On Echo Ridge.
Oh, yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Matters from the interim clerk treasurer.
Mayor and council, before you, of course, are the bills we paid for this month. Any questions?
I don't know.
If not, we'll go on to the GRT report from our town manager.
Fortunately, our gross receipt revenue is increasing. Compared to April 2021, the ending amount for the April for 2022, we have $120,000 more in revenue than we did last year. So it looks like we've hit $1 million mark in excess revenue compared to last year. So I believe we're doing good, and I foresee that we would be doing better as we go along.
Any questions on the financial report? Okay. Do you have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the financial reports for 5/17/22.
For April.
Oh, April, I'm sorry. For April of 22.
Okay.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Matters from the interim town manager.
Yes, Chief Lovato is seeking the approval to outfit the 2022 F-150 and the 2022 Expedition. I believe we had discussed this previously. Should I go on the list of my requests first?
No, we should take action on this one, first.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to, for the approval for the outfit of the 2022 F-150 and 22 Expedition for Police Department.
Okay, Commissioner Donner, motion, do we have a second?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
We need to know which one they're accepting.
Chief?
Mayor, Commissioners, so what you have in front of you should be a total of 6 different quotes, 3 for the F-150, 3 for the Expedition. Now, these are all apples to apples quotes with the exception of MHQ. Now, MHQ was unable to, well, they chose not to attach a radio to their quote because their supplier for radios is currently several months out. So they thought that they'd be doing us a disservice to attach the radio on the quote. So radios are roughly about another $1,000 that you would add on to the quote for the MHQ quote that you have in there in front of you. What I'm hoping to do is move forward with the Blue Sky outfitting. They're a couple $1,000s less than the other one, and they also were able to get their inventory in several weeks faster than the other 2 suppliers.
Do we have a second?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Naya?
Um,
First, I need to know if we have a second before we go into discussion. Commissioner Brennan seconds. Go ahead, Commissioner Naya.
on the company itself, they show an address here in Edgewood. Do they have an office here in Edgewood, or is it just their office is here in Edgewood?
I couldn't answer that. I don't know, maybe Brad might know if they're in the city limits or not. They could be outside the city limits. This outfitter used to work for Code 3. Code 3 has done numerous outfits for the town in the past, but now they have, reduced their operation to strictly radio. So now they're no longer doing outfitting. This, particular gentleman reached out to us that he, branched off and, opened his own outfitting service. But as far as where it is, I do not know.
Here's their outside city limits. What? Madam Chair, Chief, do you know how long they've been in business then?
Not long, I think just a matter of months. Like I said, it was close to the end of the year when Code 3 stopped doing full outfits and transitions just to strictly radio. And at this point, this particular outfitter started to get his business licenses and all that stuff. So it was, about the year end.
And they were able to get all the equipment?
No, it would be in order, but their supplier is estimating 3 weeks out. Whereas the rest of the suppliers are estimating anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks.
And they came from MHQ?
No, Code 3.
Code 3?
Right.
Commissioner Naya, what are your concerns?
My concerns would be mostly, timeframe. Are they gonna be able to get the equipment being a new company if these other companies are having issues not receiving, inventory and they've been in business longer? It's just kind of a little flag, not even a red flag, it's more of a.
So one thing is that all these different manufacturers have essentially a particular brand that they like to utilize. Some of them like Federal Signal, some of them like Code 3, some of them like, other different forms of lights. They're all flashing lights, they're all bright, but they all have different manufacturers that they, tend to try to get their materials from. It's just different names.
Are they all manufactured in the US?
As far as I know, yes. But I would have to look into that a little bit further to give you a definite 100%.
Most electronics aren't manufactured in the US, chips and everything, so that doesn't really make any sense.
The light bulbs, are definitely US though. I'm just joking on that, that was not.
I got your number.
Any other comments or discussion?
Oh, let's give it a try.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Chief, do you know of any other vehicles they've already outfitted?
Yes, they've done a number of different outfits. I don't have any product to show you, but like I said, they've been essentially the outfitter that, worked for Code 3. He branched off and he started his own business. We've already utilized him to work on radar, he installed a radio in the AC truck. He does great work. We've been utilizing him forever. So we're really experienced with his work.
All right, so basically he's like a spin-off on his own.
Yes, exactly.
You're not doing the decals on the Expedition?
Yes, there will be decals on both.
Madam Chair, no more questions.
Okay. Did you see that, Commissioner Donner? On quote? Where is it at, Chief, on the quote?
Are you looking at the F-150? It's right there
For
on
the Expedition.
the Expedition.
I'm not seeing it on.
It's on the second page, about midway through, custom decal graphics.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next. Recommendation of the engineering firm.
Yes. You have the scoring of the engineers here, and, my recommendation is that, since we are wanting to have a pool of engineers, that, we incorporate, these, submissions that we had from them. And, when we have scored, I believe we felt that, they were all very, substantial, and that, they had, extensive background of, doing the work. And, we've been pleased with a lot of the, submissions.
Okay. Recommendation is, from Manager Davis to approve the list of, engineering firms presented.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve, the engineers to be placed on call for the town of Edgewood for services rendered.
Okay.
Second.
Commissioner Brennan, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And approval to purchase cab tractor with loader for the maintenance department.
Yes, we did, talk about that, in budget. So, here's the price.
Okay.
Did you have any questions on the price quote?
Any questions from the commission? I do have a question as far as, what bucket of money this is coming out of. This current year budget, next year's budget,
Next year's budget.
next year? Okay.
I believe Manny has an idea of when we would get those once we place the order.
Cab tractor depends on when we put the order in. It could take up to, 3 months, 1 to 3 months for the cab tractor and the brush hog. But the Z-Track, we can get that probably in a couple months, in a month.
Okay. All right, so since we have to, allocate budget, my recommendation is that we use, I guess we would have to use cash balance unless they have room in their budget. Okay. So what is the pleasure of the commission? Do you want to approve, cash balance for these two, well, we're on C right now, but, for this purchase for the road so they can get it ordered, or do you want to have the administration report back to us at the next meeting, the budget meeting, as far as what line item that would be coming out of if they have budget or not?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Naya?
I'll make a motion to, approve the, purchase of the cab tractor or the Z-Track? Which one are we on?
Cab.
Cab, okay, for the maintenance department using, cash balance.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded by Donner, and, any other discussion? And just a friendly amendment to state your motion, cab tractor with loader. Is that fine?
Fine, thank you.
Sure. Just to clarify, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next, approval to purchase the Z-Track mower for the maintenance department. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Z-Track tractor.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll
And
second.
what funding source, Commissioner Donner?
Well, I'd like to, if they have it in their budget, I'd like to see if they can take it out of there, but if not, cash.
Okay.
Good.
You okay with that, with your second?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Any discussion, questions, comments, concerns?
Do we have any inclination of if they do have that within their budget right now? Or,
I believe they do, but, this needs to be verified before we, and so if they don't, we're approving them to use cash balance. That's what the motion is. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and just a note on, for future agendas, if you guys could move, I know, you know, we're in compliance with the Open Meetings Act, there's no violation or anything, but if you could move all the action items to below to discussion and action items, just so that it's kind of organized as action.
We will.
So, thank you. Next, approval of job descriptions. We have quite a few here. Town manager, code compliance officer, librarian, and finance manager.
Madam Mayor, are we gonna be doing these separately or all together?
It's up to you. Can make a motion?
I make a motion that we, approve each job description, each job description separately.
Okay. Well, maybe we want to just start with the first one? Or,
I see, okay.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the actual action itself, do you want to retract your motion?
Yeah, I'll retract my motion, make a new motion that we, approve the job description for the Town of Edgewood Town Manager.
I will second. Discussion. Any comments, questions? Commissioner Donner's good. Brendan, you're okay? And Commissioner Naya, anything on this one?
No, they look good.
Okay, anything from administration? Public? Town manager, description, you guys? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Next, I'll entertain a motion for the next one. Code compliance officer.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the job description for the code compliance officer.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Donner. Do we have a second?
Second.
Brennan, second. Comments, questions, concerns? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Next is librarian. Modifications to page 2 qualifications, and we have Andrea, the clerk, could you translate this one for us? I'm very confused on this. So I'll just give a little bit of background, and we have former Counselor Abraham here as well. She might be able to refresh my memory. But I thought that we had updated Andrea's position and her job description already last year. And so, is this to her position?
No, ma'am. This is to the librarian, which is Rachel. Andrea's position is the library program manager.
Okay.
Library program manager is how, her job description reads.
So we're changing it to operations manager?
No, sir. No, Commissioner, what you're changing is just that section that is highlighted in yellow of the requirement. And that comes from the New Mexico State Library.
Okay, so it'd be removing the requirement of the special qualifications that the state of New Mexico grade 1 library certificate is required or must be obtained within 6 months of employment. The New Mexico State Library only requires those holding library director positions to be certified now. This qualification is no longer required for the job description. So I guess it depends on the bar that we want to have for our librarian. Do we want to lower the bar and not have that certificate?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Naya?
Can I get an explanation as to what the certification really is for?
Yeah, I'm with Bill on this one.
What's it all about?
And what's the process of being able to get it?
Did Andrea talk to you all about?
No, she did not. Mayor, I don't know if you would rather move this to the next agenda item, to the next agenda and have her explain, the process, because I really don't know.
Okay, Madam Mayor, make a motion, we table this until the next meeting, where we can ask Andrea about it.
Okay,
I'll second.
moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next. Finance manager. And we're moving, you guys have probably noticed, and I think we talked about this at the original meeting in January of the commission, but we're moving, instead of having directors and administrators, we're trying to be more consistent and have, by department, have them called managers instead. So we're changed to finance manager. You all were able to make my changes? Okay, any comments, questions, concerns, changes? I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, can, just a second, please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Stephanie, it says that a CPA license is highly preferred. Should we make that mandatory? Would that give us a higher quality candidate for this position?
Yes, it will.
It would, but I can tell you that there are very few governmental CPAs.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would probably, highly preferred is probably the best way of putting that.
Okay. The other thing is the pay kind of looks a little low for a position like this.
Honestly, not.
Okay. Quite the range.
Well, there's room for them to move up, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the finance manager job description.
I'll second.
Explanation?
Commissioner Naya?
Go back and tell me again what the difference between the, being called a manager versus the, finance manager versus the town manager? Because it sounds like to me that we're looking for the same person for two different jobs.
No, they're very different functions. One would be like a CFO and the other would be CEO. So the town manager would be the executive, the head of the executive, and running the town operationally, for CEO. And then the finance manager would be more like a CFO, like a chief financial officer, in charge of the, finances and compliance and audits and reporting.
Do we have these positions already advertised?
We do not.
Well, you already got a first and second.
It's okay, we can still make changes, or
Well,
what are you concerned about?
I'd kind of like to really do a little bit more research on this. Hey, I didn't get to this, and I apologize, but it's too important to.
On the finance manager?
The finance manager. you really wanna break it up to find out the true duties of the manager, the town manager, because he's gotta have the same type of background versus what the finance manager does, and versus what the planning manager is going to have. If we're looking for long time, planning, I really would like to put these more into the strategic planning, and let's figure out exactly, what their, duties would be, because we could find somebody that works in a P and Z department that does a lot of the planning and understands the full procedures in line to do the job, and doesn't have all the degrees, but has all the hours of employment.
Yeah, I do think that that is something, a different function, like a city planner, engineer type, which is great, you know, something that I think I brought up at the last meeting. And so that's another job description that we could bring forward if, we are granted, you know, a lot of capital projects funds, then that's going to be something, you know, very much needed. I'd say we hold off on that position though for now until we have a little more information on the projects that may be coming our way.
Madam Chair, that would be my suggestion, but, we already had a motion on it.
No, I mean for planning, you're talking about for planning. This finance manager is absolutely critical to get in place. And we really don't want to lose candidates. It is time sensitive. We definitely have projects moving forward that, I think, okay, let me go to Commissioner Donner.
So I like the example that it's like a CEO and a CFO. A CEO is the executive, they oversee the day-to-day operations of the company, make sure that everything is moving smoothly. And then the CFO is responsible for all the money. They're the ones that make sure that the company's healthy, that they're succeeding, where money needs to be allocated, where they need to get money from. I mean, it's very, very different from a town manager position. Finance manager is a vital part.
It was something that we did approve to have. Commissioner Naya.
I totally agree with that, and, but, you know, laying in bed for a few days kind of gives you time to think. So, and, you know, I've been thinking about this and trying to think long-term, okay, how and what would be the best way for us to go forward. I mean, we could still do it, and who knows, maybe they qualify for another position and we just change the title of the position. You know, I mean, that could work.
What do you mean, change the title?
Well, because of the qualifications that they have in here are.
Well, a C-suite level person, a CEO and a CFO are gonna have a
I
lot
know
of similarities.
Yes,
But
not quite the qualifications.
They're very different.
Are there any qualifications that are concerning to you? Manager Davis, you have the comment.
My understanding is that the town manager is responsible for the financial status of the town, period. And it is important for the town manager to be supervising the finance manager. And, how should I say, the finance manager is qualified like really a glorified bookkeeper in many ways. And that, it is important that as the town is growing as fast as it is right now, that we keep up with the workload. And the finance manager will be responsible for the daily financial reporting activities and keeping, you know, us where we can go through the audit procedure as smoothly as possible. And so it is, it will be good for a growing town like Edgewood to be prepared. I think within a year we would you know, have this person working extremely hard.
And it is the whole realm of fiscal responsibility,
Yes.
as you mentioned, and
Yes.
accounting and audit and budget. And it's a very specific skill set that, you know, some of the other candidates don't have.
Whereas the town manager is the administrative part of running the town.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
Madam Mayor and Commission, then that make a change to the clerk treasurer's position? Because she oversees the budget day-to-day also, operations of the budget audit process.
No, I don't think it changes anything because the clerk's, duties are defined in statute.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't change, but I think you work collaboratively together. And it is an appointed, whereas this position would be, you know, employee status.
Maybe it's the title that I might have a problem with.
Would you rather call it a CFO?
No.
What about finance director?
We, you know, well, we're getting away from directors, and putting managers and all to be consistent. And we did talk about business manager, but that's for school districts. Typically. So it's a business manager, essentially. But I didn't want to use that terminology because municipalities don't use that. It's mainly for charter schools and, districts. Okay, we need to move forward. Commissioner Naya, do you have a motion, or I'm gonna go ahead and,
You guys already made a motion.
I know, but you can make a secondary motion if you had some kind of change that you wanted. I'm just giving you that opportunity. Okay, we'll go ahead and do roll call vote on this then, for the approval of the finance manager job description for the town of Edgewood. Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
Commissioner Anaya?
Aye.
Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you, commissioners. We'll get this one moving forward as quickly as we can. Next, proclamation declaring the town of Edgewood a Purple Heart town. Mr. Scott?
Okay, here we go. You have in front of you the flyer. I left it on your desk there. It's that nice bright colored flyer. I want to quickly go through what you will expect to see on May 30th. Firstly, we will be dedicating the town flagpoles and dedicate them to all veterans of Edgewood, past, present, and future. And at some point, we will have a plaque to put there. So we don't have that plaque yet. Just we want to keep costs down, but when we figure out the exact wording, you put it in front of one or both flagpoles, however you prefer. That particular ceremony is very quick. Basically, Ms. Mayor, you'll speak, Commissioner Brennan, you'll speak, and then you'll have the national anthem played, all the flags go all the way up at half-mast. And then any other things that you all would like to add as a commission, and then you're done. And so you can socialize until 10:30, when the parade begins right in front of the South Building. The parade is going to be an interesting parade, be short, but it will have interesting units in it. Apparently, we have all of the bagpipers of the state of New Mexico there. And if you love bagpipe music like I do, it'll be exciting. If you don't, bring earphones or something. So we expect maybe to have 6 or 8 units at most. We'll have one color guard leading on as well. Then they'll finish right at the pavilion, and then once they're all finished and everybody's seen them and they're all happy, we'll do the actual formal ceremony. And the ceremony will be in 3 pieces. The first piece will be recognizing those who have fallen, those who've given the greatest sacrifice for the country, the whole purpose of Memorial Day. The second element will be to recognize the fact that Edgewood Greenwood is a Purple Heart town now, and the mayor has the sign, and that, we are, have our own trail to match that. So that'll be wonderful. So we've done the Memorial Day, we'll do the Purple Heart, presentation, and then we'll do special recognition for the Purple Heart veterans. We will take the proclamation you're about to approve, we will roll it up, tie it with a bow, and give it to each of our Purple Heart people as a memento for the occasion. Additionally, we're seeking to get them a special hat so that they will have a Purple Heart hat as a recognition of being here, because we really want to support them, because they really don't get much support. The annual Purple Heart Day is August 7th, and very few people recognize it. And once that's, we got in there, of course, Brigadier General Raphael Warren, he is with the National Guard now, the New Mexico National Guard. He is an expert in crypto security. So it'll be very interesting. I'm sure some of you would like to talk to him at that point. Then, once we finish the first part, Memorial, the second Purple Heart, giving the Purple Heart gifts out, then the last is a parade of service mascots. So we will start with the Army Mule, and then we'll go to the Navy Goat, and then we'll go to the Marine Bulldog, and then we'll go to the Air Force Falcon. And we cannot put a blanket over the Air Force Falcon, it just doesn't work. Then we'll go to the Coast Guard. They alternately have a bear or a dog, so we're going to go with the dog option. And then we get to Space Force, and Space Force's mascot is either an eagle or a tardigrade, which is a small microorganism that can survive both on land and in space, which I guess is a very good mascot for them. I don't know how we're going to demonstrate a tardigrade, maybe have a blow-up picture of one and just turn it around as we walk through. So once we've completed that, we're putting up a tent to the north side of the pavilion, right at the north side. So once the ceremony is over, then we walk over to the tent, and for our veterans, especially our older veterans, that'll be a lot easier than having them walk all across the field, and we will have a reception. We do have some organizations donating food. It might be a very interesting reception because apparently now we have McDonald's donating food, Domino's donating food, and I don't know what else he's going to come up with. We have a veterans advisor, Rick Thompson, who's making all these contacts for us. But we will also purchase some reception appropriate items. We'll have some cookies and fruit plates and veggie plates, not just enough because we'll be feeding not only the Purple Heart guys, disabled veterans, VIPs, volunteers, and anybody who works out on the field for Family Day. So let's get to Family Day. Family Day is the part where the town gets involved more actively. People who have an interest in veterans will come to the ceremony, but people who don't really know veterans but appreciate the value of the day, we have a wonderful setup out there. Along the edge of the south side of the park, we'll have military organizations, veterans organizations, all kinds of different groups there, so that the veterans can come down and walk around them and all that, and the community can. We'll have recruiters there as well. Then we will have, on the east side of the field, at least 3 food trucks in the level area before it starts doing its wonderful dip. And then we'll have some other vans and vehicles. We'll have the VA behavioral health van there in case any of our veterans have some difficult times. And then we have a glider, the body of a glider. They didn't want to bring the wings because they don't know what people will do to them. And we are getting a couple of military vehicles, and we have to figure the best way to stage the military vehicles so we don't damage the field. So that's pretty much it. It'll go on from 1 to 4. We'll have bands playing. I don't know what kind of music they'll be playing. One said techno rock with a Berlin beat. No, it was a joke, but I just thought you might like that. Anyways, at 1 o'clock, we were scheduled to have a flyover by Holloman Air Force Base jets. Unfortunately, they have other conflicts, and so they've canceled on us. But we are trying to get 2 flyovers, one of World War II warbirds that will fly over, and then the Army National Guard will be flying some of their helicopters over, which they do all the time anyway, but it will be for the And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it in a nutshell. What questions can I answer for you?
Great work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say, to be honest, we started with a 12-page color-coded plan, and we were down to a 2-page non-color-coded plan, so it works out well. And I've got to really thank the departments. Roads have helped us, maintenance is helping us, the chief is helping us, everybody's helping us. So we're just really glad to get the whole town involved. And we'll ask you all as commissioners to rake gravel. That'll happen at a later date.
Can I bring my Bobcat?
You certainly may.
I'll help.
Any other questions? I hope you all will be there because your presence is important, especially at the flag raising ceremony, the flagpole dedication, and at the memorial service. We will have you all set up. And any VIPs that you all have invited, the sooner I know, the more faster I can put it into a program. So I hope you received my outline for you, so that I'm glad. So if you have any others, I know that Commissioner Anaya has a nice format for sending invitations to VIPs. He made it himself. Thank you. Good.
All right. Thank you so much. Save the date, everyone, and get the word out for people to save the date. I saw there's already some other activities. I was texted to attend something on the same day, I don't know, in Albuquerque. So I know that people will be busy and making their plans, so let's try to get the word out. Okay, other than formatting, I'm gonna go ahead and make the motion to approve the proclamation declaring the town of Edgewood a Purple Heart town.
I second that.
Okay, any, sorry, I didn't give him a second.
I did.
Commissioner Naya, any comments?
Madam Chair, I do have, a question. I mean, not on the, proclamation. I totally agree with doing it. In fact, I just as soon vote on it, then I'll make a, statement, I guess.
Sure. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Madam Chair, you know how you go down the freeway and you see this purple sign on the freeway? Are we gonna be able to do that? Or is that something that the highway department is responsible for doing? Now, I'm talking about the actual purple one.
That would be the state highway department, or the federal thoroughfare might be the Department of Transportation.
Because I know they put that, you know, nice signs on the freeway before you come into the town of Edgewood. And, you know,
Edgewood actually did that.
did they?
Mhm. Chief, go ahead.
I was just gonna comment that they're already up there, they're posted.
Awesome. These signs are specifically for Route 44, or 344, excuse me. So we talked about where they begin and end when we place right as people are coming into Edgewood off the highway. And then on the other end of 344, where the town limits end, will be another set of signs.
Okay, I'm talking I-40.
I-40, whatever signs are there, they're there.
Yeah, I-40 has the purple signs posted.
Okay, thanks.
Next, notice of decision, Temple Ranch.
Mayor and Commission, so this is the document that acts in lieu of conclusions of law and findings of fact. As you know, we had the special meeting to hear the appeal to the approval of an amendment to a master plan by Campbell Ranch. Because that meeting, we received the concerns from the Attorney General's office regarding the original planning and zoning meeting. This just documents that. This was prepared by the attorneys. We just need to document this to show that that meeting was the action taken by the commission.
Question on the last statement. I do not believe that we vacated the hearing, so I don't agree with that word. And also, I'm a little concerned about the rehearing, instruction to rehear, because it was my understanding that the applicant had the choice to bring it back or not.
I think, yeah, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to interpret what an attorney has provided. I understand your concerns. I believe what my interpretation would be that the matter was vacated and that the commission chose not to hear the matter. So there was a vacation of the hearing. And then I think secondly, there was instruction to rehear. It is up to the applicant whether they choose to withdraw their application. Technically, until we get the letter from them, their application is in place. So, you know, it's just, if we get a letter, and my understanding in conversation with the applicant is that they will be sending a letter from their attorney withdrawing the amendment. But until they withdraw that, it officially is in place.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Does everything look factually correct?
I was just checking the dates,
Okay.
and they seem.
Want to make a motion for us?
Madam Chair?
Commissioner Lyons?
I'd like to make a motion to, let me make sure I'm on the right item, okay? Under, discussions and action items, number B, number C, I'm sorry, notice of, for Campbell Ranch, that, we approve the documents submitted by P&Z as finding in facts. Is that correct?
No.
It's actually notice of decision, so, because there was no hearing, the hearing was vacated.
That's right. I'm sorry. You're right. Notice of decision. Case number AMD 2021-09-015.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Brennan, second. Any discussion? Okay,
Has this, Madam Mayor, has this been reviewed by council already?
This was prepared by council.
This was prepared by, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
No, that's a great question. Any others? Okay, we'll do roll call vote. Commissioner Nyes?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
And, Commissioner Don?
Aye.
Okay. Next. Authorization to proceed and with preliminary feasibility form grant requests and prioritize. So, you have a list of items here. I'm looking at the email for the agenda items provided by Roger Holden. And it looks like there were 9 for the feasibility.
That is correct.
And so do we have?
Madam Chair, I'll make
We
that
have
motion.
8. Seems like something's missing. Skyline.
Windmill?
Sea Hill.
Oh, Frost.
Windmill.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. It's off to the side.
Yeah, there's an indentation issue on number 9 for,
Sorry.
33 lighting.
I was thinking that separate item. Okay, so we have the 9 items here.
Commissioner, I apologize for misspelling Sea Hill, as Sea Hill is also my maiden name, and I didn't think twice about it when I was typing.
It's actually
I thought it
It's
looked okay.
It's B-hyphen, yeah, H-I-L-L. This one's spelled D-I-G-I-L.
And then road have any,
Yeah. I have a Mobile.
I was actually thinking that it was named after Reuben Beal.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not.
I feel from a person.
Okay, commissioners, let's get through this, as far as, prioritizing these. From my recollection,
I think we have to make a motion. Do we not?
we should.
All right, I'll make a motion to authorize to proceed and with preliminary feasibility form grant request to prioritize these 9.
The challenge is that we need an order of prioritization. So, at the previous meeting, we prioritized, I don't see it on there, widening, oh, that's different, that's a grant request, that's not on here, never mind. So these are all new things.
So there's 2 different.
We're supposed to put them in order of priority.
So this is 2 separate things.
Well, you know, this email here that you're seeing is not on the agenda, so we don't have the grant request prioritization on the agenda. So we're gonna just deal with D. We haven't discussed these before, so it'd be nice if we had, someone to present. Ben, do you want to come on up? The Edgewood 7 Trail construction phase, I know that's already, like, what, Bill, 90%?
Okay, so do you want me to go through these briefly, item by item, tell you a brief overview? Okay.
Yes.
Roger prepared these, but I did assist, so I'm fairly aware of everything. So Edgewood 7 Trail construction phase, we already have funding in place for much of the design. This would be to construct what is designed, which is not funded right now. The design is about 60%. So that's all that one is. Windmill Road.
Oh, can I?
Sorry, go ahead, yeah.
So we received legislative appropriation, $584,000, specifically for that.
So that $584,000 can be used for any trail, any right of way, and any easement for trails.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have to be spent on Edgewood 7. So this would be to specifically do the Edgewood 7 Trail.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Now, we're welcome to use that money for part of this, or, you know, maybe we do some of that work, but this would be to pay for that completely.
Okay.
As a separate grant.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Edgewood 7, the way I'm reading it, Edgewood 7 Trail construction is basically the entire trail system that, the town of Edgewood has. That's the way that I've been reading, all the documents.
Okay.
So the 584K is for construction, design, and build, if I'm not mistaken, I'm almost positive.
So, yes.
And that can work on any part of.
Section 16,
The Edgewood Trail system is not limited to just Edgewood 7.
Right, that is correct.
For anything and everything in Edgewood.
Because the trail system is called Edgewood 7 Trail. Does that make sense?
I think that's just one part, but.
So the project feasibility that we want to submit is, for this one is specifically for that trail, which is in design right now.
Okay.
That we already have funding for.
Thank you.
Windmill Road Trail design is like Edgewood 7, you know, it's where that T is between Echo Ridge and Section 32, is putting a trail like the one that's going to be on Edgewood 7 there. This would be for the design phase of that to get that in motion. Any questions on that one?
That one's only about 500 feet, is that correct?
It is longer than that. It's here.
Because it only goes, to the boundaries, the town boundaries, which is right down the corner.
I'm remembering 1,800 feet, because it's between those two sections, but I'm not
Well, you could be right.
sure on that. It's more than 500 feet, I know that. Maybe I didn't print that one out. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so, Frost Road, multi-use trail design and construction. Bernalillo County has already started building their side of this that goes from, NM14 east towards us. They have plans to take it all the way to the county boundary, the Edgewood's boundary. So this would be to finish it in Edgewood along Frost, all the way to, 344 and connect to our system. Any questions on that one?
Did they say they can actually take it to 344?
No, that's what we would be doing. So Bernalillo County is gonna take it to the edge of their.
Which is Horton.
Right, and so then
Okay.
we would go from there to 344. That's what this is. So I'm gonna put Skyline Drive and V Hill Road together. They are, very similar. Those are intersection improvements on the very dangerous, Route 66 section there where there's hills. The intersections are at angles. So this would be to widen those out, provide turn lanes, decel lanes, to make those safer and more usable for everyone there. Those two intersections are close together in kind of the same situation, so they're separate, PFF forms, but similar projects. Okay, so item 5, extend north frontage road from Cedillo Hill to Moriarty, pretty self-explanatory. This would basically create a frontage road on the north side, much like Route 66 is, which would do several things. A lot of it's safety. It would provide alternate routes, so all the traffic isn't dumping onto Route 66. Just ease traffic issues there. Any questions on that one? CR2 design and construction is a little more simple. That's going from Barton to Section 32 to provide access to that side of Section 32, which right now is only available to very high four-wheel drives, as Commissioner Brennan knows. He went out there on our field trip. So that would be to make that usable by passenger vehicles. And we briefly touched on Beetle Road already, so going down to item 8, Windmill Road, trailhead parking design, construct for access to Poker Drop Park. So at the end of Windmill Road right now, the road dead ends, and there are people using that as an informal parking to get onto Section 32, but there is no parking there. It's just the end of the road. So this would be to go through there and purchase a piece of vacant land that is behind on the south side. That's just one option there, and create a trailhead there and fix that road so it can be accessed.
Yeah, that's a gnarly road.
Yeah, and so the idea is that we wouldn't go all the way up that, but it would just go partially up till we can get access to a trailhead, and the rest of that road would be more of just a trail, because it's pretty steep once you get back there too far. And the last one there is Route 66, 333, widening to 4 lanes. So it has 2 sections. It's from Barton to Linney Court, which is kind of in front of Tractor Supply, where the improvements that are already there at the intersection start. So it's completing that piece, and then it picks up again at Leslie, which is just past AutoZone area there where the 4-lane dies down and goes back down to 2, all the way through then to County Line Road. So basically creating a 4-lane with turn lanes through there, and really alleviate a lot of issues with safety, traffic, anything else on Route 66. So in a nutshell, that's those. Any questions?
Here, I have some questions regarding some of these items are not in the town of Edgewood. And So I guess my question is, from a planning perspective, since they're not in the town of Edgewood, do we need to coordinate with Santa Fe County? Or in some cases, Torrance County?
I believe so. Are these not requests just for the portion that's in the town?
Well, for example, the Frost Road Trail, there would be a gap there between Bernalillo County and the town of Edgewood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that is correct, there's a piece that's county, you're right.
And obviously, Cedillo Hilton area, I'm a little bit confused about that.
Yeah, that's
It's,
so confusing.
Well, and then the south side of Windmill Road is also Torrance County.
If I'm not mistaken, the Torrance County is fully on the south side, so Windmill Road is.
I lived on Windmill.
Okay.
Yeah, everything north on Windmill is Santa Fe County,
Yeah,
everything
south
south
is
is Torrance.
Okay, Commissioner Donner, would you like to continue with your motion?
Madam Chair?
Just one moment. No?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
Commissioner Anaya.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make, or actually just amend, items 4 and 7 to make that, eliminate 7, which is, V-Hill in New Mexico 333, and move it up to Skyline Drive, New Mexico 333 / V-Hill Road / New Mexico 333 intersection.
I'll second that.
Okay, so moved and seconded, to move item,
To combine 4 and 7.
Yeah, combined,
to move, or you said,
to combine.
yeah, combine, to combine them, V Hill Road and Skyline Drive.
Yeah, and that's a good idea, because the project could always be phased, but it should be designed as one.
Yes.
Good point.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, any other changes to the items themselves, such as, clarifying that we need to work with the county, that's just a given, changing any of the wording here, changing any of the, I mean, for me, I think it's just a given that we would have to work with the other, governmental entities and focus in, of course, on what's within the town boundaries. And I think Roger probably will.
Yeah, and that is included in that. This is mostly just, can we proceed with these requests?
Mm-hmm,
Correct.
okay. So, Commissioner Brennan, go ahead.
So we're also trying to prioritize the list, correct?
Correct.
And so I'm looking at this and the widening of New Mexico 333, Old 66. That, all right, well, Route 66. Just two different things. I've always just called it Old 66, so 66 is also on 40.
Yeah.
So, well, never mind. If we are going to also work at widening that 4 lanes, that will also affect anything that we do on Skyline and V-Hill. So I would just suggest that they be done in conjunction, because I wouldn't want to see a nice new intersection put together just so we can come back and tear it all up to make it 4 lanes. All right, I've seen that happen way too many times in too many towns. Because they need to be tied together.
Can you put that in the form of a motion?
That's why I'm trying to think of the right wording.
Should that item also be combined then, and it would just be the widening of the entire thing, and again, it can be phased.
Mm-hmm.
If it's designed all together, then those would work together as opposed to being separate projects and blowing up stuff that you just built. Those could all be combined.
So I guess I would make, Madam Mayor, make a motion that item number 9, New Mexico 333 and Route 66 be done in conjunction with 4 and 7 Skyline Drive and V-Hill.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. What's next as far as prioritization? Let's think about this maybe in principle. What is a must-have or necessary versus a want or would be nice?
That's a rough question.
I mean, I think Edgewood, the trail construction is important. I also think the parking, we need parking. That's a need, right, for Poker Draw. I also think, you know, there's the issue of, well, I was just thinking about, you know, public safety as far as those intersections. That's pretty important too, because it is hard to get across, very hard.
And Madam Mayor, if I may also add, if the state goes and the Fed moves forward to the new interchanges, having 333 widened out to 4 lanes, that kind of gets those entities more maybe motivated to move forward with those new interchanges on the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it was hard. I mean, these are all very important things to do for the town.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you all okay with this one that we combined, Skyline Beetle and Route 66 widening to be highest priority due to public safety?
Well, it's just the grant requesting. It's not
Yeah.
that it has to be done first. It's just the grant request priority. Go for it, Phil.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Lyons?
I would like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we submit, items 1 through, it'd be 7 now, correct? As submitted on the agenda. And, for the grant request, and then, allowing Mr. Cog to prioritize those with the DOT. Because these will fall under DOT on 344.
For the road ones, yes, but what about the trails?
That's why I want to keep them the same. Because they'll remove, well, actually, the trails can be classified under DOT too.
The trails are TAP grants from the DOT.
Right.
So everything is DOT.
Okay, so in looking at, Roger Holden's email, that kind of supplements, it says the same exact projects, but it says authorization to proceed with the following preliminary feasibility form grant request. So really, you know, the one about prioritizing, we're gonna have to do that at the next meeting, it looks like.
Yeah, but I think we can at least authorize to proceed with the fall,
Yes,
Yeah, as is.
the feasibility
yeah, with the changes that we made.
with the changes that we
Because the
With one change.
priority-wise, you know, there's other things on here that aren't on here, so we're gonna have to address that at the next meeting. So priority, clerk, we're gonna have to do that at the next meeting, as far as putting them in order of priority.
As far as
Because there's
submitting
some
the grant.
missing on here, they're not.
The first half or the second half?
second.
The second half is gonna have to be put off until, you know, we have it on the agenda, because there's like the New Mexico 344 widening and extension of Frost Road. I think that's highest priority.
So
And that one's not on here.
those were
so-
voted for at the last meeting, so that those are already in. And you're right, all of them need to be prioritized. Everything we have with Mr. Cock, they want us to prioritize it. So you're right, this isn't a full list because we already had those ones that were in from the last meeting.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to do that at the next one, if it doesn't hold anything up. I mean, it's probably a lot of work just to even start writing these, right?
Most of these are, mostly complete, pending, now combining these, and I'm reviewing them as well as Bill.
Okay.
But a lot of the background work is already complete on these, or Roger.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor to proceed with the PFF, grant request, correct?
That is correct.
And do I have a second?
Second.
And so Commissioner Brennan seconds. Any other discussion, questions, concerns? All right, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next, general public comments. Do we have anyone in the room? Come on up.
Ralph Hill, I just have one request, for you to reconsider, or to consider annexing, Echo Ridge into the city. That way we'll have, full control over it. And there was a letter from BLM saying that we could do that. And, Roger, we could probably pull that out.
Okay.
That was several years ago.
Thank you for that. If it's okay with the administration, I would like to have a meeting specifically regarding annexations and planning ahead. And let's do that at some point toward the end of next week. And, Commissioner Donner, would you be able to attend as well?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take a look at my schedule for Friday as well. And let's start, looking at next steps and what needs to happen with annexations.
Which Friday are we talking about?
Next Friday.
The one following this week. Okay. Because next Friday is in a couple of days, so.
It's this Friday. Next Friday is next Friday.
Okay, thank you for that reminder. Who else? Caller 3? Do you wanna unmute caller 3? Jesus, just to check real quick. Caller 3, do you have any comments? No? Okay, go ahead, Councilor Abraham.
Hi, this is Sherry Abraham, 21 Warburg Lane. I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you guys are doing, especially on the Purple Heart count. We have been trying to get this accomplished for almost 2 years now, I think. And thanks to Parks and Rec, you guys have designed it sounds like just a spectacular ceremony. And so I just want to thank you for creating opportunities like this and reestablishing the summer rec programs and stuff like that. We have been kind of trapped for so long because of COVID and every other kind of reason, and it's just nice to be part of a small town community that does stuff again. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone on the go-to meeting? I see Mr. Seegers, Ms. Burke. Any general comments?
This is Linda Burke. I would like to just let everybody know that the registration for the YES program is currently open. We are about halfway filled for most, or a number of the weeks. And this Saturday, May 21st, there will be an in-person registration day at Town Hall from 8:30 to 10:30 in the morning, where parents can come in and register their kids on the spot for spots in the YES program.
Great. That's great. So it sounds like we have room for 30 kiddos.
We do, and the program is, lots of activities each week, including a field trip. So there's a lot of, and each week has a different theme. So it should keep the kids not only busy, but having a lot of fun for this summer. And now that school is getting closer to being out, more families are starting to look at what activities their children will be doing this summer. And we've seen a lot of activity this week on registration.
Great. Thank you, and thanks for all of your hard work on this. Anyone else?
My pleasure.
Okay, future meetings we have listed, and we do need to set, a special meeting that will address. Okay.
Hi, sorry about that. I had a bad connection. I just wanted to address the confusion about the job description, if I may, but I did send a follow-up email to let you know. I just wanted to let you know that my job position is a library operations manager position, and Rachel's is a librarian position. So I was recommending a change to hers because librarian certification cannot be obtained by the state, through the state library by a position that is not considered the chief librarian. And so I put a link in the email that I sent to you and the commission explaining why they don't require that and why Rachel isn't ineligible. So I didn't think it was appropriate to add it into the job description requirement. So I do apologize for the confusion about that. And I will make sure and be there the next meeting if you need to ask me any other questions, or I'll be available.
Thank you. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and set our special meeting for budget. How much time do you need for Amelia to make the changes and be ready for the budget special meeting? How much time for the meeting itself? I mean, until the meeting. How much time do you need until the meeting? Like a week, or how long?
She's already been working on it, and we've already discussed a lot of, from the last budget meeting, so I think next week, but to let you know that next week, the 27th, on Friday, she won't be here, and I think it's really important that she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then to know that we have to find a location because of the Saturday, the 21st, we have the election going on in this room. We don't have this room
Mm-hmm.
available.
Could we do Tuesday the 24th in the evening?
We can, Mayor. Do you want the meeting recorded?
Yes.
No, we can't do it in this room, the 24th. Because election starts the 21st.
Right. But I mean, can we do that day? I mean, I don't have conflicts.
Well, Jesus won't be here, but that is why Courtney is here. She, is working with him to be a backup. He's going to be gone for about 4 days. So he won't be back till the next day, the 25th.
Okay.
And the chief won't be here.
Will not. Okay.
Are you going to look for the aliens?
This is that Thursday, the 26th.
I can't do Thursday. We do Tuesday night, Monday night, do Friday during the day, but Amelia won't be here. What do you guys think?
I think we need a longer month.
Longer month would be great.
this, well, so there's, this building, this room during early morning, because voting doesn't start till noon, but the machines are in here and they're gonna have it secured, so we don't have, that won't work.
Do we have room in the library?
What if we did it at that pipe?
We could do the old community center. Just for old time's sake,
Nostalgic.
and be nostalgic.
Well, PD is right there.
Recorder.
Can we not stream? We can stream still.
Yeah, but you guys. You can.
Okay, let's do it.
You're talking about the bandwidth?
No, I'm talking about the audio. You have to set around a phone, we have to talk loud.
Okay. Well, that's gonna happen anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much as we don't have this room, so.
We don't have a conference room.
We should.
You're not the one that sits right there.
Yeah, speaking of sound, Commissioner Anaya, he's asking why we don't have a conference phone. Seems like we should have one
Put that on
somewhere.
your list.
All right. So what do you guys want to do as far as, what, is Tuesday night okay?
What date?
What is
Talking
it,
about
the
the
24th?
24th? I can make any day, any time work. I'll just take a vacation time on the day if I have to.
Well, in the evening. I mean, I'm not talking about. in the
We're talking
day.
a budget meeting only?
No. Special meeting that has to address a lot of other items as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yep.
Can we start at 5?
Yep.
Let's do that. 24th.
So, well, how about 5:30? You get off at 5? You can make 5 work? How about you?
I can make any time work, just as long as I got enough head time. To tell my boss I'm not gonna be there.
Yeah, just start your morning at 4 instead of 5. You're like an early bird.
As long as dinner is delivered, I'm good.
I'll bring you.
Yeah, I'll bring dinner. How about that?
No, that works for me.
It's recorded.
I had a premonition that was gonna happen. And it did. So I'm bringing dinner.
What is this also going over budget, or what all is
Okay, so-
being included in
Right,
this special
right.
meeting?
So this night, we talked about several things that I know our clerk took excellent notes on. And so, but one of them is Jerry Powers, Mayor Pro Tem, his items here. So chip seal, asphalt, you know, staff position, administrative assistant, all of that. And we do have the prioritization that we need to do as well. And let's see, you made a motion to put off one until the next meeting. Oh, it's library. Okay. And what else? Stephanie probably has it there. Oh, the wastewater report, which that one, you know, could be at the next regular meeting as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
What is the items that I have written is for the flood control for Church Street that Commissioner Brennan talked about.
Yep.
Was that one of this, or you want another regular meeting?
I think a regular meeting is good.
Well, but it would be until June 7th.
Yeah,
We need to let them know right away.
the next time they call me, it's probably gonna be, say, okay, we're moving forward with yours. Are you willing to go ahead and do the 25%? I'm gonna have to tell them yes or no.
Exactly.
So,
Definitely next meeting.
Okay, broadband and flood control.
Right in my head.
never wanna say no to money.
Commissioner Sterling also with his broadband, you want that as a budget or a regular commission?
That can just be on a regular one. We're not crunched for time, and there's more information that needs to be gathered before I can present it.
Well,
But that's
in my
something-
mind, I'm thinking if we're gonna spend 1.5 match on one or the other, or both, or neither. So they kind of go together in my view, the infrastructure, which I don't know if we can afford to do everything we want to do. So, you wanna try to talk about it then?
Yeah.
Gives us a week.
Okay.
All right,
Sorry, missed that.
broadband and flood control both.
So both of them.
Yeah.
So if I may, then we're talking, the budget maybe just do the list that was presented by Dan for the, prioritizing of that long list. And then it'd be the library position, it would be the church, flood control, and broadband, plus Commissioner Powers' items.
And actually, I think it's not just Church Street. Is it? The flood control? It's not just Church Street?
It's primarily Church Street to,
Okay.
so we can go and pick up and continue on with the original Church Street program of paving the road. We don't want to pave it until we get flood control because we don't want our new road washing away.
Right. Okay, so let me understand this. In order to pave Church Street, we have to get $6 million from the feds and do a $1.5 million match to pave Church Street.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's gonna be, the Fed will give us actually 4.5 million. We come up with the other 1.5 to keep the total out to 6.
Do we want Church Street paved that badly?
Hold on. We're talking about the flood control, the feds are not talking about the street.
No.
Church Street. They're talking strictly about.
The flood control in that area.
That's it. So when we start talking about paving Church Street, that's a whole different animal.
Right, I understand that,
okay.
but it's held up because of
That is correct.
the drainage issue.
Now, we can apply for some of the new funds for church if we wanted to, in conjunction with the flood control. But the flood control is not only gonna be on church, it's gonna follow on down to, I think it might go all
Okay.
the way to
All
344.
right, I don't wanna get too much into the discussion on it, but
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
clarify.
yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
a good point, good point. So, all right, we'll add those two on. Anything else? So Tuesday, are we saying 5 o'clock works?
At 30, I think you said.
It's up to you, whatever.
That's what I have.
What?
5.
5.
5 is good for you.
5. All right, so the 24th, 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Only once, twice.
And venue, wanna do the old community center, right? Okay. Sounds good. Future agenda items and then closed session,
Madam Mayor,
yes,
what about the meeting, the regular meeting on June 7th? That's election, primary election day here. So they won't be available on that date.
For location?
Yes.
I didn't say what.
I've already requested of the school district, their answer was no.
For the library? I mean,
No, for the south
Gym.
building where we normally have the meetings, or the voting and the meetings, either way.
yeah, the gym.
Mhm, the gym. But no, no. Probably the best place. Okay. So for closed session, we didn't need 2, 3, 4, 5, so it was really just to be one. So if somebody could make the motion to go into closed session and just read this first one.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make a motion that we go into closed session, regarding section 10-15-1H2 for confidential discussion on the hearing, promotion, demotion, dismissal, assignment, or resignation of a public employee, or the investigation or consideration of complaints or charges against a public employee, specifically animal control officers.
I'll second.
Okay, Brennan made the motion and Donner seconded. We'll do roll call vote. Commissioner Brennan?
Aye.
Commissioner Donner?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Anaya? I vote aye. Go into closed session, it's like 9:03. recording? Need to, a motion to come back into open session.
Madam Mayor, make a motion, we come back into open session.
Thank you, Commissioner Brennan. I'll second. All those in favor? Well, no, roll call. So Commissioner Naya?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Donner?
Aye.
I vote aye, and then I affirm that, had no conflicts of interest, no decisions were made, and no, and only the item that we went into closed session for was discussed.
I so affirm.
I so affirm. I so affirm.
Okay, we are adjourned at 10:18. Thank you, everyone.
Good night.